Hey, Ferdinand. This feels fitting, doesn't it? Hitting you with Lawrence.
You should be ashamed. I shall not lose. No matter who comes for me. I make my own luck.
Oh my word.
Take a breather.
Someone's mad.
Got all you got?
I'll protect you.
Thank you, Lysithia. Sorry, Ferdinand. Sorry, I gotta do this to you. Everyone's here, right? Yeah.
Watch closely.
My turn. Let's link up.
This should do it, maybe?
Together.
We'll do it together. I've got you now. Is that all? I cannot retreat now.
Watch closely.
Alright, Lysithia. I don't want you to die here. Burn.
Never back down.
Oh, never back down, huh? Ferdinand's not giving up.
It's my turn.
I make my own luck. I shall never
Appreciated.
I did not mean to do that.
Let's go.
Someone adjutant with me. Chez.
take a breather.
Ferdinand, die! You're so close. There we go. Whew, that was a mission. That was fun.
Let my ambitions get the better of me. We must withdraw and regroup. Fall back.
Dude, that was fun. This game is a phenomenal. Hard mode is...
I want to hear those victory cheers, folks.
Hard mode's a ton more fun than
Probably
normal.
Planning a second assault after they regroup. But we'll see if that actually happens.
Dude, this game is amazing. What more do I say? I love this game.
Look, the Imperial Army is retreating.
Steady, Hilda. Don't get too excited just yet. We've only repelled the first wave of their assault. The Empire has been funneling a great deal of troops into Leicester since taking control of the Great Bridge of Murden. I expect they'll have plenty of reinforcements at the ready, fresh and fully prepared to fight.
Sharp as ever, Holst. I was thinking the same thing. We're not out of the woods just yet.
But you still have your plan, right?
I believe it is high time you explain exactly what scheme you hold up your sleeve.
Just keep your eyes on the enemy and you'll know soon enough. Assuming the plan actually succeeds, that is.
What do you mean by that?
Enough with the theatrics. Do you truly intend to evade our questions, even now?
That's literally Claude, in a nutshell.
Well, if that's what our leader says, we'll just have to monitor the Imperial Army and await good news.
If you are satisfied with that, Lord Holst, then it will have to suffice.
How long are we gonna have to wait before we know if it worked?
Good question. I'd say about 3 days, give or take. If everything goes as planned, it'll all be clear as a nice summer sky. And Lawrence, apologies in advance.
Why are you apologizing only to me? That feels somewhat disquieting. But to be clear, if this
I just skipped a bunch of lines, sorry.
Why are you apologizing only to me? That feels somewhat disquieting. Oh, very well. I shall wait to see just what it is you have been scheming. But to be clear, if this plan of yours fails, the Alliance is finished. We will no longer be able to resist the Empire.
A lot of pressure for Claude.
Yes, I'm well aware. Failure isn't an option.
Oh, B, I'll take a B. That was my time. 20 minutes. I took 5 minutes more. I didn't defeat enough enemies, and I took a little more damage than I should have. It was 50%, I think.
I'm not there yet.
Good, but not enough.
Alright, not bad. That was a fun mission,
Won't
dude.
let myself stop here.
Good job, Chez. Level 18? Oh, let's go. Level 18.
Yeah, not bad.
Man, that was a ton of fun. Ooh, intermediate seal and smithing stones. Lots of good stuff there. Yeah, all this money. Oh, level C for Hilda and Ignatz. And Balthus is now playable, dude. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see Constance and Holst. Can't wait to see Constance and Happy. And Yuri too.
Soldiers to the rear. All those who can fight, reform your ranks. As soon as we are prepared, we will launch another attack on Deirdre.
Another one? Why don't we just, wait for Count Berkeley's?
Our enemy is exhausted, while we have plenty of soldiers who are unharmed and able to fight. This is the most opportune time to strike.
Lord Ferdinand.
Ah, General Ladislava. We've been waiting for you. Has Count Berkeley's arrived?
No, he has yet to depart the Empire. There has been some suspicious activity in southern Leicester that has made the Minister wary to proceed.
Suspicious activity, you say? Do we have any idea what the Alliance is plotting?
Not to my knowledge, sir. As much as it pains me to say it, perhaps we should fall back until we know more.
Dude, I don't think I asked this in Three Houses. Is Ladislava's voice actress someone I know? Sounds super familiar. Like right now, it's like, like I feel like I should know this voice. It sounds really familiar. I'm gonna be thinking about this for the rest of the day, honestly.
And yet here we stand, on the precipice of victory.
General Ladislava, our scouts have returned.
Is that also Michelle Ruff? I got Michelle Ruff to play a lot of random generals and soldiers.
And what do they report?
Gloucester soldiers have launched a surprise attack on the Great Bridge of Murden. We've lost control of the bridge. We anticipate that House Gloucester and Ordelia's forces will soon seize the lands that belong to House Phlegathon.
So, Count Gloucester was deceiving us all along.
What? We've been tricked? Oh no, 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 no! We're doomed!
It seems we have blundered right into an Alliance trap.
We have to retreat. Get out of here! Find someplace safe to hide!
Calm yourself, Bernadetta. A leader must project confidence for the good of their soldiers. We shall begin an orderly march to the Great Bridge of Murden at once. Though the enemy may give chase, stopping is not an option. We must maintain our course for the Empire and let nothing deter us.
Understood. I am with you, wherever you may take us.
I apologize for leading you both into this debacle. For now, all we can do is pray that any part of our host makes it back to the Empire safely. Forgive me, Edelgard. I may not be able to keep my promise to you after all.
Dude, I'm so pumped when I get to play this game on other routes just to see how things unfold.
Imperial army is on the run. Looks like my plan went off without a hitch.
According to a messenger from my father, Gloucester forces have launched a surprise attack on the Great Bridge of Murden.
What did you say?
The Imperial forces were caught completely off guard and have been driven back. The bridge is once again under Alliance control.
He also said that Count Ordelia is working with Count Gloucester to fortify southern Leicester.
Using a false surrender to draw the enemy into a disadvantageous position. I take it that was your plan, my lord?
Yeah, basically. Except that Count Gloucester wouldn't have acted if we hadn't won the battle for Deirdre. That was the promise we made. And thanks to all of you, I held up my end of the bargain.
So, what's all that mean now?
They're saying that House Gloucester and House Ordelia never really betrayed the Alliance.
I hope you can all forgive me. I knew the whole time, but my father had sworn me to secrecy.
You knew about this, Lysithea? But my father never breathed a word of it to me. Claude, why was I not informed?
Again, I'm sorry about that. Your father made me swear not to say anything until it was over and done with.
But why? Is this another sign that he has yet to consider me a worthy successor?
That's not it, Lawrence. But it's also not my place to speak for your father. You should ask him yourself the next time you see him. I'm sure this all came as a shock to you, Lawrence, but there's no time to sulk. We need to move, and quick. If we don't surround and quash the Imperial Army right away, this little plan will backfire, and Count Gloucester will be the one left vulnerable.
He's right. If Count Burgleys were to enter the fray now, our allies at the Great Bridge would be caught in a pincer attack.
Who's this Count Burgleys person?
The Empire's Minister of Military Affairs. His house holds the territory on the opposite end of the Great Bridge. I've yet to face him on the battlefield myself, but he's regarded as the greatest warrior in the Empire.
I see where this is going. We need to move.
I hate to ask this of you when you're still exhausted from the last battle, but I'm going to need one more push from each of you.
Oh, chapter 6 time.
Golden Wildfire. The leader's stratagem.
Stratagem, huh?
The Alliance army pushes back the Empire at Deirdre, where they receive word that Count Gloucester has rejoined the Alliance. It seems his disloyalty was all part of a deceitful plan. With their position lost, the Imperial army begins to retreat. Claude and his allies press forward, planning to surround them as they flee to Adrestia.
Dude, this is a war story done right. I feel much more invested in this plot than I ever did in Three Houses plot.
The Imperial forces within the Alliance are currently dispersed between the western part of Regan territory and the northern part of Gloucester lands.
Like, what made me like Three Houses, the plot wasn't bad by any means, but it was just kind of there. Honestly, if I had to use, like, if I had to describe it in one way, it was kind of just there. Like, I had neat build-up in part 1 with the lore, even though it bogged down the pacing. But then part 2, like, had potential, and it was just kind of there. Like, you were just kind of fighting for whatever house you were part of. But this game is doing a much better job of making me care. Like, we're getting to see, like, House Gloucester, which is, like, Lawrence's family. House Ordelia, which is Lysithia's family. It does a better job at integrating, that's the word. Does a better job of integrating the characters in the Golden Deer and their homelands into the war. And really making you feel for the war. You didn't really get that much of a scope in Three Houses. But this game, doing a lot better. I'm really impressed with the plot so far. It's not like, hey, like me with war stories, like, you know, it's not really my preferred genre, but I appreciate this. I'm feeling much more invested, and I just want to keep playing and find out what happens. It's a pretty good plot.
They're making a desperate attempt to march south. But Count Gloucester's persistent attacks have slowed their progress.
I would appreciate it if you could be more precise with your language. In fact, my father's tactics have halted the Imperial Army's southward advance.
I'm pretty sure that's what I just said. Anyway, here's where we come in. We'll surround the enemy, cutting off their retreat and cornering them in western Regan territory. Then, we give them a good thrashing.
That's it? Sounds kinda simple if you ask me.
Sometimes simple strategies are the best ways to go.
Hey, what more could you want? All the best plans are easy to understand. Trust me, it's a sure win.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, even I know what's going on now.
Yeah, okay, Raphael. I bet you're lying.
We just have to herd the Imperial Army into Western Regan territory and stop them from moving any further south, right?
Couldn't have said it better myself. Just remember that the enemy knows this is their last stand. We have to proceed with caution. I want to finish them off before Count Burgleys has a chance to muster a sizable army and mount an attack.
Ferdinand and Bernadetta are leading the Imperial Army, right?
I'm guessing you'd rather not kill them? Believe me, I don't want that either. We may have been in different classes, but they're still our old friends from the Academy. Once our forces are in place, I plan to offer them terms of surrender. But for now, we need to focus on driving their army into a corner.
You got it. I swear on these biceps, I won't let them get away.
I don't know. I'm not convinced it's gonna be that easy. But I guess that's besides the point. We've got to get out there.
You said it. Let's move out.
Also, when Raphael said that, I was reminded. Raphael's...
I believe that Count Gloucester betrayed us. The Great Bridge has fallen back into enemy hands.
First of all, don't interrupt me.
Now
Second of all...
troops are trapped on Alliance lands. House Regan and House Gloucester have them surrounded on both sides.
I had an auto text. I forgot Monica. So Monica is with... Because we saved Monica that one time. So I guess she's with the Empire? Come to think of it, I don't know much about Monica. Because when I played through this game, like when we saw Crania and we saved Monica, apparently Monica was never really an antagonist. She, like, Crania, like, took her place and posed as her. I never knew that playing Three Houses. I just assumed that Monica was part of those who slither in the dark. But it doesn't seem that way. It seems like Monica was, like, a student, but she, like, Crania took her place and posed as her? And Crania was the one that killed Geralt in Three Houses, but Crania and Monica aren't the same? I was wondering what happened to Monica. It seems she's with the Empire, though.
It's doubtless one of Claude's clever little stratagems, and it stings.
I don't understand. Everyone is aware of the troubled history between Regan and Gloucester. Why would they decide to bury the hatchet now? Unless this supposed feud is little more than a web Claude has spun for this exact moment.
Perhaps it is, but perhaps not. For all we know, he wants us to overthink the situation and make a greater mistake.
As it stands, Ferdinand's forces are trapped behind enemy lines. The Minister of Military Affairs is moving to recapture the Great Bridge of Myrden with all haste. However, I fear he lacks a sufficiently sizable force to do so swiftly enough to reach our isolated comrades before they are crushed.
We cannot stand idly by while our allies are in danger. What are our options, Hubert?
I have already taken the liberty of engaging several promising mercenary companies. I directed them to covertly enter Alliance territory and provide reinforcements to Ferdinand.
Why was I not informed of any of this?
From the very beginning, I had my doubts about Ferdinand and his ability to lead our troops to victory. I employed these mercenaries using my own personal funds, which obviated any need to report it.
And you believe they'll make it to him in time?
I do. It turns out that they are quite familiar with the terrain. I am confident that they will prove well worth the cost of their contracts.
It's funny, Hubert, to think that your complete lack of faith in Ferdinand might be the very thing that saves his life. The world truly is a mysterious place.
Oh, hey. Yeah, I know how some points work.
Let's talk.
Ah, Shaz, have you heard the news? So let's go see what the news is.
Excellent.
We have a new facility where you can research battle tactics. Studying is no substitute for real-life experience, of course, but it should still prove useful. Take a look when you have the chance, so I gladly will. We got some rounds to do.
I'm impressed.
I bet I know why Claude didn't tell us of his plan. He didn't fully believe Count Gloucester would come through. Though he probably had a backup scheme in case that one failed. Don't you think? I gotta go buy a shop for gifts if I want to go do that. I heard you fought Ferdinand, Daedrew. To be perfectly honest, he's much more suited to defense than offense, but I imagine he volunteered himself to lead the army.
Let's see.
Yeah, it could be. His attacks felt desperate somehow. It's not really a question of being unsuited to offense, though. I think the Emperor simply indulged her friend's request. We'll worry about expeditions later. Right now, I want to do some stuff.
Oh yeah.
I've heard rumors that the Imperial Army recently hired some famous mercenary companies. And apparently, one of them's already in Leicester. We could end up facing them at some point.
Hey.
So, do you know someone in those companies or something? Hard to say. I haven't found out which ones the Empire's hired yet. I wonder if it's... Nah, never mind. Just talking to myself. Forget it.